What's good, YouTube family? Welcome back to our channel. It's your boy Retro.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
How you doing today? I'm joined by my co-host, Miss Really B TV, in the house.
That is I. I am she.
That is you. She is you. And tonight, it's not tonight. It's today. Today is not tonight. It's the afternoon. So
you been drinking already tonight?
Actually, I am. This afternoon, we're here to talk to you about P-Valley Season 2, Episode 4, Demethrius. First thoughts of the episode. What you think?
I think it's I thought it was a good episode. Let me say that. I definitely thought it was a good episode. I definitely see the development. You know, we almost halfway through. We know Stars does these 10 episode seasons. So we're on episode 4. So we almost halfway there. So we definitely see things are starting to come together as far as where they're going with some of these stories. I'm here for it. I don't feel like they're dragging anything along. I feel like they're keeping a really good pace.
Yes, they're answering our questions or they're confirming things, because I'm not sure at this point we've had many questions. We've kind of seen where the story's been taken.
No, we definitely kind of the only question I have is where they're going with this Montavia stuff. This whole supernatural ghost thing. Like that's the only, but other than that, it's a pretty consistent,
And they're not dragging us out through multi-episodes. I guess you could say that they've dragged some of it out from maybe episode 1 to 4, but that's not a really big weight. It's not a really big weight for me. We're getting our answer.
Because and I think they were giving us stuff we needed. They were giving us little nuggets of stuff that we needed in order to get here. They've been building up this like even in the first 2 episodes, we didn't see, all we saw of Pastor Woodbine was her giving out food, her little commercial, but that was enough to let us know that she started the church and the church is flourishing. And now we see between last week's episode and this week's episode, we see that she sort of had become a force to be reckoned with. Whereas last season, she was sort of the joke. The pastor didn't take her seriously. They were kind of using her for her daughter's money, and you see that she took it and she's like, oh, okay, you thought I was stupid. Like, to be honest with you, other than the fact that I don't like the way that she got the money because she stole her daughter's money, I'm kind of feeling Patrice, because I feel like you took them lemons that they threw at you and your ass made lemonade, and now
she's an anti-hero.
I see where they're going to have to end up, especially after she handled the riot, which we'll get there. She's becoming a force. And they're underestimating her. They're still laughing at her, and they're underestimating her. But I think she's going to be the one at the end of this that is going to be Queen Bee. I really feel like that's where this is going. I mean, I don't know, but they're building her up. They're definitely building that up.
Well, let's put a pin in there, because I wanted to talk to you about Pastor Woodbine, so we'll get there.
Okay.
So the episode starts off with the club going up. I'm telling you, man, I would love a night at the Pynk.
We're going to the Pynk. We are going. I tried to take you to the Pynk, but it wouldn't have been the Pynk. It would have been more like the Lavender, but
not the Lavender.
It would have been more like the
Lavender. At the Pynk. I don't know if I want the wings. It sounds like they don't got no good chef at the Pynk.
I don't know, but they got the weed in them. I'm just saying they might make for a whole nother situation.
They burning them up at this point, so I don't know if I want the wings. I'll be here for the drinks. We have to eat before we go to the Pynk. But the Pynk is always going up. Like the stage is always covered with money. Like these people are giving the Pynk their stimulus check at this point.
Oh yeah, that's all that is. That's the stimulus checks, because
that's the stimulus check. Yeah.
That money is fresh. It ain't balled up. It ain't been nowhere. That money came straight out the ATM.
It's literally covering the floor. So you see the girls, they're having a good time. They are going up at the club, and we see Lauren Jukebox from last season. She was the chick. You remember the episode where the lady was having the divorce party?
Yeah.
And
she was giving away her settlement.
Settlement, and she back there giving.
She ended up getting arrested the night that Mercedes beat her mama ass.
Correct.
Murder night.
Correct. So
no, that wasn't murder night. That was supposed to be Mercedes' last dance.
It was Mercedes' last dance night. Yeah. It was supposed to be her last dance. The night her mama took the money and
right. The night she found out her mama stole her money. Yeah.
Yep. So
they all ended up in jail together.
All three of them. Yeah, they were all in the same cell. That's right. Sure was. So Lauren is just giving away all her money. Like, she is going up. The girls they doing their thing on the pole. And we finally see Toy. You know, we don't see Toy much as a frontline dancer. We usually see her in the background. You know, she's usually a background dancer. She's giving lap dances and things like that. So this is the first time we've ever seen her giving a private lap dance or whatever. So she's in the room giving Lauren a private lap dance. And for some stupid ass reason, she decides to take her mask off and Lauren's mask off.
I didn't understand the whole taking her mask off thing, because remember, she was double masked with a face shield. She was double masked and she had a shield, yeah. And I don't understand, if you were so worried about COVID, why are you allowing them to take your stuff? Like, I didn't understand. Like, was she just so caught up in the moment, you know?
Yeah. Why are you even there? Why did you even come then if you were that worried, if you were that concerned?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been there. Like, I wouldn't have been there.
But see, what they should do, I'm gonna give you an idea, Uncle Clifford Haley. Y'all should be streaming these dances too. Y'all should be streaming this and have a private site where they pay.
That's what Mississippi's doing.
Yes, they should be doing exactly what Mississippi doing.
You know what? That actually would have probably been safer than them opening the Pynk back up.
Yeah, yep. And they could have still kept Pussy Valley going. If they would have kept Lane going,
the car wash, yeah.
So you gave people an option that, you know, if you want to drive through and see a dance, cool. If you want to watch online, cool. If you want to come to the club, cool. Then you would have multiple streams of income coming in instead of just relying on the patrons in the door. So Toy sneezes on the girl, and the girl just go crazy. She just go bonkers. So Uncle Clifford and Autumn, they run over, you know, they try to diffuse the situation and try to calm her down or whatever the case may be. And we find out that she's the health inspector. Now, this is where I have an issue with. Because after her actions of last season, she should have been fired from her job. She should have been fired.
Well, I have a problem because my thing is, wasn't nobody doing nothing when you was throwing dollars. You wasn't worried about them being compliant until that girl sneezed in your face. Like, first of all, Uncle Clifford, I put some of this on you because when that girl was first sneezing, if you was worried about her having COVID, you should send her ass home.
Yep.
Until she came back with a test. That's number one. And number two, I just have a problem with people who don't have an issue until it affects them. You didn't have an issue. You was throwing dollars all night, and people, if you go back and look, people didn't have their mask on. The girls on stage didn't have their mask on.
That's right. That's true.
You didn't have no problems until that girl sneezed in your face.
So you weren't concerned about anyone else getting COVID? No. Just you.
Right. Except for you.
Hey, Miss Honey. Hey, how you doing? Authentically Young.
Hey, Miss Honey.
How you doing?
Hey, Authentically Young. I see the notification went out late, but it did go out. So hopefully our regulars will come through in a few.
You know what? This episode was a lot. There was a lot going on.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Even last episode, there was a lot going on. But yes, I mean, we got a lot to talk about, y'all. We definitely got a lot to talk about. Miss Honey, I hope you watch because I'm curious to know some of your thoughts. And you need to get up in here with us, Miss Honey. Where you at? You ain't done a show with us yet for P Valley.
Miss Honey been coming over. Oh shoot, what did I do? Miss Honey been coming over my way. With
she owed me a guest appearance. She owed me a guest appearance. I thought this was the show that there go Ebony. Well,
she at church. Ebony, they've been sending you cutoff notices.
Ebony, we've been sending out disconnection notices left and right. Where you been? But yeah, let's go back to the health department lady. So she is writing up all types of citations all around the club. She says,
"Okay, hold on, Miss Honey. I'll get it to you. I'm gonna send her the link."
So she's writing up all kind of citation notices all around the club, and telling them that, you know, they have to put partitioners in place, and, you know, they have to space out the tables and things like that. Which rightfully so, they should have done all that when they opened back up anyway. But I guess what I'm confused about is they're fully back open again. So is some of these sanctions still in place even though they're fully back open?
Yeah. Because remember, even locally, when restaurants and stuff first opened here, they couldn't be at full capacity, and they had to have every other table. Like there were certain things in place. So, but my problem is, and maybe because the man done died and they dealing with that, but did they not? Did they not check before they opened up? Like, did they not have to pass any type of inspection before they opened up?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Especially for a business like this, I would think that they would have had to have some type of inspection prior to. Again, this is Autumn and Uncle Clifford's fault all the way right here because y'all should have sat home. Y'all definitely.
Well, but you know what? I'm not even gonna say it's Uncle Clifford's fault. I'm gonna say it's Haley's fault because Uncle Clifford told Haley they weren't ready to open.
That's true. He was pushing for them not to open. He said we're not ready yet because they were still trying to put some things in place. But like I said, it would have been to their advantage if they would have kept Pussyland open since they had spent all that money to create Pussyland and keep it going. You know, even though the club is open, I guess that would have required them to have more staff, hire more staff. But you're hiring new girls anyway. Y'all should have just kept Pussyland open as well and open the club back up. So that way you could have been able to still keep your thing going and have more money coming in. Or you could have split of the vision and management. You know, Haley, you're managing Pussyland, I'm managing the club.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. As many girls as that they had showed up to that audition, they had plenty of women. They could have had a whole different set of girls down to Pussyland could be like the D League. Like you go to Pussyland until you work your way up until we think you're ready to get to be on the main stage at the Pynk. Because remember with Pussyland, the pay wasn't as much. You're not making as much money. So Pussyland could almost be, you know, like I said, like the minor leagues until you work your way up to the stage. And then they always have, like you said, they got both businesses opening and they always have that steady stream of fresh talent. So somebody get hurt, somebody got to go home, somebody quits, you got to fire somebody. Okay, we're going to pull so-and-so up from Pussyland. Yep. I mean, I know we're being too technical about it, but there was a lot of ways they could go with that.
Well, and I thought that's the direction that they were going when we first got introduced with Pussyland. That's what I've actually been waiting for, to see if they're running both of these simultaneously because, you know, Autumn is such a businesswoman and everything. So I would have thought that this was her new way of generating even more income for the club because to me, they're not doing anything any different than they did when Uncle Clifford was running the place.
Right, because the only thing they short of is security. Everything else,
security,
because they said that at Pussyland, I mean, at the Pussy Valley, they were only playing a playlist. It wasn't like it was actually they needed a DJ. So they got Big Bone. Only thing they short of is security at this point.
Yep.
Miss Honey, I sent you the link, boo.
And a chef.
Well, yeah, and a chef.
They need somebody back there cooking the ways.
They definitely need a
chef. Big L ain't doing it. Big L ain't cutting it. So we're back in the locker room, and the girls are, you know, they're upset. Everybody's upset about being shut back down again or whatever. And Brazil decides she wants to put Roulette on blast about her extracurricular activities. And Roulette just goes off on the girl, start beating the girl.
Roulette whooped her ass.
Yeah, she put her in a wrestling move and everything.
Roulette whooped her ass.
She really should have been fired. So Big L has to literally come in and tote her out the locker room.
Literally had to carry her out of there.
And I actually like how Big L handled that situation. He handled that situation a lot better than I expected it to go. Because I really expected her to continue to be rowdy. I expected her to kind of extort him. Even though she kind of brought up the subject of him and Duffy, what they were doing with the Oxy. But she didn't really let it be known that she saw that it was Oxy. She's like, well, what y'all was doing back there? Why are you worried about what I'm doing? Because Big L questions her. He uses his opportunity to question her about, you know, what she was doing getting out that car that night. And we also get just a little nugget, which I'm wondering if that's going to further develop about his daughter. He says, you remind me so much of my daughter or whatever. So, you know, Big L is going to take a liking to her, you know, and try to help her through her issues, which we learn later on in the episode that she's grieving. So that's a part of where all her anger and hostility is, on top of the fact that she's grieving the loss of her brother. But I think there's a little bit more to that we're probably going to get to see. And it may even get into a situation where Mercedes takes her under her wing and, you know, and try to help her out. So I want to see that those two develop a relationship.
But I'm surprised you didn't catch it. because you usually catch everything. And I didn't catch it. I did one of your numbers. I watched it a second time because I needed to catch something in that scene. You didn't peep that Big L knows Roulette? When Big L asked Roulette, he said, where'd you learn how to fight like that? And she never answered him. And he said,
she said, why you...
Okay, I missed that part. But wait a minute. But he also said, because no, no, I peeped that. But did you peep when he was laughing at her and she said, who you laughing at? He said, I'm laughing at you. And he said, you remind me of my daughter. And then he said to her, he said, do you miss him? Talking about her brother. We didn't know her brother was dead until later on in the episode. Yeah. So when he said, you remind me of my daughter, and then he said, do you miss him? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. He knows Roulette.
Well, you know what? I was going to say this, but I thought I was going to be reaching. I was going to say, is it possible that Roulette is his daughter?
Listen, I'm on the road. We on the road together. I don't know if they're going to be that literal, but they definitely, he knows Roulette. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to make it that literal that it's actually his daughter, but he did say you remind me of my daughter. And I want to say last season we found out, didn't Big L talk about his family last season?
Vaguely.
So
Vaguely. And I've been trying to find the episode.
I was going to say, I'm doing one of your numbers now. Now I kind of want to go back and hear what Bill, because I remember him saying, he was talking to somebody, I don't know if it was Diamond or Uncle Clifford, but he talked about his family last season. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering, now I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be that literal that it is going to be Roulette, or if it's just that he knows Roulette's family. And because when he said, and like I said, I didn't catch it the first time, I caught it the second time. Hey, Miss Heidi.
There she go.
Wait.
There she go. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me? Yep, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Oh yeah, your mic is working good.
Real good. Real good.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think they're going to make it that literal. But I think that either his daughter was friends with her or something. But that I don't think they're going to make it that literal. I really don't. Oh, here he comes.
Yep.
What's up, Xavier?
Xavier too, yep. But you know what? She's not his daughter. Because you remember when she was in the audition and he was kind of flirting with her a little bit? So maybe it's not that. Maybe it's that he actually, she knows his daughter.
Yeah, because when he said, do you miss him? I said, whoa. Because we didn't find out until later on in the episode that her brother had been murdered.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Honey, what you thinking? What you thinking, girl?
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, Coach.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
That's you, Retro. You're Coach.
You call Retro Coach.
Yeah, because I ran and put on a nasty piece of lip and lash like Mercedes did when she got that text from
Coach. So, what are you thinking about the season so far?
Hey, really, I really like it. The first episode kind of threw me off a little bit. I felt like it was a little stage play-ish.
Yeah.
But it has more than made up for that. I just have to say, just flat out, I've said it a million times, and I feel a video in my spirit about it. But J. Alphonse Nicholson, baby, they need to give him something.
Yeah,
they need to give him.
He's playing that part.
Mm-hmm. He's playing that part, and I just feel like it's just. I think they're all Anon. The young lady that plays Patrice Woodbine and Mercedes, they all are strong characters, but J. Alphonse, I mean, he's pushing that envelope. You know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. And I'm just seeing these characters really given this season. And I think a lot of it is because it's this competition to bring this authenticity to the show. And I mean, and as viewers, we're the ones that are winning here. This is a so far episode 4. This is outstanding. And
let me say this. I respect the hell out of somebody who can play, who, especially in our society, I respect the hell out of a man who does not identify as gay to play this character. Now I don't know if he identifies as bisexual, but I know he's married to a woman.
Right.
So he may identify as bisexual. I don't know that, but I know that he's married to a woman. And so I got to respect that because he's playing the hell out of this character.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot of conversation about him, and I know we're going to talk about that, but I've heard a lot of conversation. People,
he's a real rapper.
True. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. He does have a musical side to him as a person, even with the drums and acoustics, percussions. So, yeah, I mean, my thing is that you guys remember Denzel, Will Smith said that Denzel Washington told him not to play this gay character, the one that was a con artist. Don't do it because it'll pigeonhole you. I think we've evolved as a society where he can authentically do his job and still be who he is. You know what I'm saying? Especially if that's not your proclivity. It's completely possible. If people can be all of these dual personalities, good and evil, certainly he can play this role.
Right. And Will Smith has since said that he regrets not doing the kiss at the end.
Now I didn't know that.
He said that that was part of the stipulation. He played the character, but he wouldn't do the kiss. Right. At the end of the movie, they go black screen, so you don't really see him kiss the guy.
Right.
And he said that he now regrets not doing the kiss because he felt like he didn't go all the way with the character.
See, I didn't know that. So that's I guess I better not go too far, huh? Let me just give y'all a little lift here, just a little slightly.
But I agree. But I agree that we have evolved with characters being able to play these characters, and vice versa, and vice versa. Yeah. We can have the Laverne Coxes of the world play a cisgendered woman and it not be a gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can have the T.S. Madisons of the world playing these characters and it not be
a caricature.
Right. It never even is part of their character that they're a trans woman. It's just they're a woman. They're playing this character. I mean, a lot of people, if you don't know who, you don't know who T.S. Madison, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, the same can be said for the actor that's playing Big Zeke, which he gave us a really good performance this week as well.
Yeah.
He gave us a really good performance as well this week.
Yeah.
So we got Mercedes is on the phone with Uncle Clifford. They're kind of just like having a conversation, and Uncle Clifford is letting her know that the club is back on shutdown again or whatever. And she's watching TV, she's watching the news, and here go Miss Woodbine.
The dragon.
She said the dragon.
She's an evil dragon.
She is. Did she breathe fire too?
Yeah, she said like DL said about Monique. She the queen of ashes, baby. She leave ashes in her wake, and she gonna do them folk in Chucalissa that same way.
No,
as that loot get big enough.
We ain't got to that scene yet. She is on the phone talking to Uncle Clifford, but she also gets a text. This is the scene where she gets the text from Coach's phone that she didn't finish the Mercedes experience, that she needed to come on back.
Okay. And I knew it wasn't Coach when she got that text. I knew that wasn't Coach.
So you also see her processing there, like, what have I gotten myself into type deal? Like, is he gonna be calling on demand like this all the time for me to come?
Well, they keep juxtaposing it to Patrice because we hate Patrice so much. For us, she's evil incarnate. The way she's done her daughter, from the time she was a young girl out here on these streets messing with a grown man, I have pegged her as evil, the evil dragon. But at the same time, Mercedes got her own demons, don't she? And you keep seeing it. You see her look at her mom with this in disgust, and look at where she is because of her mom and the choices that she's had to make with hate and disgust as well. And just it's slight, but it's there.
Well, I think she desperately wants to evolve from where she's at. And she definitely doesn't want to have to resort to doing the things that her mom has kind of instilled in her to do to get over and get by. She wants to transcend that, but it's not happening fast enough. And the plans that she had in place have now been derailed do to her mom. So now we're right back to where I didn't want to be. You know,
every time I get out, you pull me back.
Pull me right back in, right?
And it's also why she had some issues with Mrs. Coach, because Mrs. Coach represents that outside eye that has this idea that she's this one trick pony, and she's constantly having to repeat, I'm not that hoe. I'm not that hoe. I'm not that hoe.
And then another thing is she's trying to do everything she can to make sure that this doesn't pass down to her daughter. So, you know, every time she has a conversation with Terica and she's telling Terica that she identifies what she's doing as work. I'm working. So she's really trying to figure out a way to make it out and make something more better for her to have her daughter, because, you know, she really doesn't want to be known as the stripper anymore.
She's trying to change her story and therefore her daughter's story.
If her mama hadn't stole her money, she'd be good.
Back to the dragon. It's gonna all keep coming back to the dragon.
I don't know if she would have been good because of the pandemic. Would have shut the gym down.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that the pandemic probably.
She would have been in a better situation. She would not have to be out here tricking right now for the money to get her gym up again.
I don't know why she can't do what you guys talked about it a little bit earlier. I don't know why she can't do what Mississippi is doing. Maybe she feels like she can't do it because she said she wanted to get up out of dancing altogether. But people have made bank on
listen.
OnlyFans.
I mean, to be honest, we know that on OnlyFans people became millionaires.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Especially during the pandemic, people became millionaires.
Yeah,
and you have to think that that's probably what's happening with Mississippi. That her money is going up. Because, you know, during that time that they were all shut down, they over there trying to scrape up $300 a night in Pussyland. Ain't no telling what Keyshawn was bringing in just by dancing at her house.
Yeah, so but Keyshawn got her pimp living with her.
Yeah, she got a whole other situation.
Mercedes got to rally herself. You know what I'm saying?
You mean her bigot baby daddy?
Her pimp.
That's hindering her life.
Yeah. What's up, Wise Soul?
What's up, Wise?
The minute a man sit down and let a woman go and do all the work, and he ain't got no skin in the game, you know, terms of work.
That's actually going to come out next episode.
He's pimp.
That's actually going to be a point of their argument for next week's episode. But speaking of Keyshawn, they switched to her doing, I guess, a promo, or she's doing a post. You know, launching her new eyelashes or makeup or something that she has.
Yeah, she got eyelashes. Look, and she got them in actual stores. She got didistribution and stuff. I said,
got distribution, yeah.
All right,
she got product placement. She has product placement.
Yeah.
But you also hear her make a comment about the packaging and the marketing material, her skin tone and the marketing material. Where do you think that's going?
It just feeds more of those insecurities that she's always had. She's always had issues with being dark skinned, which is why she kind of fetishizes her white boyfriend, her white friend. You know what I'm saying? For her, she's always been taught that white is right. Okay, that's why she defends him. That's why, you know what I'm saying, she wasn't finna let Diamond, as much as she liked Diamond, she wasn't finna let Diamond kill her good white man. No, you get off that white man. That was an Uncle Ruckus move.
And I also feel like I don't think that was something that they're gonna make a storyline. I think that was something to throw out there for people to understand this is what they do to dark-skinned women. Like, this is, you know, colorism is still alive and well. And I think that was just something they were kind of like a something to throw out at us to be like, listen, we're gonna make a social statement. And you're right, Miss Honey. It shows her own insecurity about her melanin. But I don't think it's gonna be a major storyline as so much it was for us to say, look, this is what they're still doing. You know,
that's exactly what it was.
It's the reason why we're torn by each one of these characters. It really is the brilliance of Katori. Because each character we're shown good and evil, internal struggle. the push and the pull of their lives that bring them to this place, that bring them to P Valley, that the culture of Chucalissa, like it speaks to all of that. It's the reasons we love them sometimes and we hate them sometimes.
Yeah,
it's the reason we can all empathize. I mean, people all across the board love this show. I don't care how high they are in their careers or whatever. They love this show because it speaks to something in all of us.
And Xavier, that's the point exactly. Because Xavier said, "Hey, I never looked at Keyshawn and thought she was dark skinned," but that's the whole point, right? The whole point is what we see versus what the world and how the world interprets us. She sees herself, because the fact that she had a problem with the packaging and she made a comment about it tells you that it's something that she's conscious about. So you're absolutely correct. For you, it may not even seem like that, but that's her internal struggle that she's dealing with herself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely agree. And Miss Honey broke it down completely exactly what it is, and as it relates to the bigot baby daddy. Because I never thought about it from that respect. This is why she's with him.
Yeah, and defends him.
And this is why she validates what she's going through with him, because in her mind, this is what makes her complete. Mm-hmm. This is what makes her acceptable to be with a white man. Whatever.
Yeah.
But another issue I'm starting to have, which we knew this from season 1, we knew this all throughout season 1, that Wody is not exactly the best manager for Little Murder. And Little Murder is getting a little frustrated because Keyshawn on the glow up. She's getting all these endorsements. She's managed. She's got products that she's endorsing and everything. And Little Murder ain't even got distribution. Like,
I'm suspect of Wally.
I appreciate you wanting to take along your people, your day ones. If it was me and I was rich and I was a celebrity and I had a business, I would want to take people along with me as well. But you also have to put people in a position that they can be of a benefit to you. Wody being your friend and your rider, being your manager, that doesn't give him the ability to be able to be your manager. You need to have someone that has skill and ability. There's something else that Wody can do for you, but being your manager is not it.
Well, that's just like we kind of saw it with that whole situation with DJ Never Scared when he called him.
Exactly.
You know, with the minute Little Murder was like, yo, that's Never Scared. He knew his producer as soon as he heard that. He knew who it was. He said, that's Never Scared. And then all of a sudden now he's like, oh, let me talk to him. Let me put him on the phone. Oh, what we need to do to make this deal? You should have been on that.
Yeah.
You should have been on that. This man is telling you, I can get you. Hello, I'm doing big things down here in Atlanta. I need what you got. He should have been on that.
I agree. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He serves as an extension of Little Murder's conscience from time to time, and he's
got a job. Little Murder is his second job. He got a job. Exactly. He got a job, and you know what I'm saying. The fact that you have to go dig him up, and he not coming to dig you up for this work, for this money, you know, to go get this bag. He doesn't seem invested. Yeah, he doesn't seem invested in the plan anyway. Exactly. I mean, when Little Murder went and got him, he was laying in a coffin.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and then the way
was Murder's idea.
Yeah, the way he skulks around in this episode, he's always on the peripheral, just on the outside, looking, watching all the players. See, Wody know what's going on. He know what's up. He's just trying to keep keep from getting becoming collateral damage in the mix of it all, but he's also looking for a way or that he can come up.
Yeah, because you saw
not
that
financially necessarily, but
yeah,
I think he feels like he owe Little Murder. He owe Little Murder one.
Well, you saw in that last scene where he was watching Keyshawn say goodbye to Gidget, and Keyshawn talking to her manager. He was over in the corner peeping something, and at the end of the day,
well, I'm gonna tell you.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because it's something that's gonna come from that.
That's more.
My video is up. My video is up. The thumbnail is Teak looking at that TV real intensely in the suite, and just behind him, out of focus, is Wody sitting back watching the whole thing go How?
Well, I think Wody is a little bit intimidated by Rome, for instance, because Rome is actually good at what he's doing, or at the very least, he's able to get things done for his artists, whereas Wody doesn't. Wody needs training. Wody needs to either be in this industry, or either he's going to be in the funeral home industry.
Was this their business though? Was music always their business? I thought Little Murder happened upon this gift for rap. I didn't think that this is something they had been working for, because at first they was just ninjas coming to the club.
Maybe not for Wody, maybe not for Modi, but for Wody, but for Little Murder, it seems like that's been his goal.
Yeah, that's been his thing. Little Murder,
that's been his thing. Back to the episode where him and Zeke was sitting outside on the steps at the hotel.
That's right. That's right.
Talking about the rhymes that he was writing for him.
Used to write back then.
So like that's been his goal.
So Wally and Little Murder fell out in season 1. Y'all remember why?
No, I don't think they fell out. I think the only time that they had words was per se when Wally was trying to warn Little Murder what path that he was getting ready to go down. You're trying to get into the music industry, and you're in hip hop rap music industry, and you're running around in the dark. Yes, you're running around in the dark and not and hiding your sexuality.
And Little Murder, you know, kind of beat back the idea of it. You know what you're talking about. You got me confused with somebody else. That type of thing. That's why I said Lil Waldy kind of sitting back and just watching it, because he's peeped it already. So now he's just watching for this pot to boil over. He knows it's coming.
So we get to Autumn, who's waking up for the day at the club, or whatever the case may be. And again, we see the ghost of Montavious that's haunting the club.
It's so unfrightful. It's so non-frightful. I just don't
like that whole thing. I don't like it.
I think this part of the storyline got added.
I think so, because it's just not scary.
After they had to kill off the mayor. I think this element got added after they had to kill off the mayor. Let me explain to you why. I think we were supposed to have a different storyline as it relates to Montavious this season, because at the end of and they're still even doing it, the ring. They're putting so much emphasis on the ring. Well, the mayor had the same ring on. And so what was supposed to happen was that this gang that Montavious ran with, the mayor was also a part of that gang. But they had to ditch that storyline.
Like Masons.
They had to kill it. Exactly.
I think that's what they're trying to, like a secret society. Yeah.
Yes. So they had to kill off the mayor, so they had to ditch that storyline. Now we've got the ghost of Montavious haunting all the characters in the club, which I think is stupid. Anyway, there's a knock at the door, and it's Corbin. And I do not like this version of Corbin this season. Whoever's writing for him this season, they're doing a terrible job, because we have a different Corbin last season than we have this season. He's aggressive, he's rude, he's offensive, and he's a little bit of a just all-around jackass. He's acting like what he despised about his brothers, because he's trying to intimidate Autumn. He's insulting her, threatening her to take his offer. And I don't feel like this is how Corbin was portrayed in season 1. Unless
maybe Corbin that has
really been a villain the whole time, because keep in mind, he was going against his brother's wishes. The brothers wanted to sell the property and get the $6 million up front. He went behind their back and kind of narrated this whole lease thing. So, I mean, maybe Corbin's true colors is starting to envelop. But I don't like how he rolled up on her. It was like, bitch, this is my final offer. Take it or else. And she's like, or else what? Like, is that a threat?
I don't know. I just feel like,
Xavier. It is very empirish. Yes.
It to me.
I guess so, Xavier. That's what I'm thinking. I guess so. I didn't think that he was as rude. Now towards the end of season 1, he was rude, because I didn't like how he did Uncle Clifford in the end. I didn't like how he approached Uncle Clifford about what your club wasn't part of the plan, or whatever the case may be. So I guess maybe you're right. He's on 10 this season.
I think Katori uses the Corbin character to insert whiteness.
That's what Dallas is pretty much saying right here.
Yeah. Because you don't see the other brothers except for the one that is the interim mayor, and his scenes are just super weak. They're scruffy. They were both much more
I don't like this.
Season one.
Andre.
They were both more beard vibes.
And no bath in 3 days.
I just got about slip out. I slept in my car all night.
Andre looked like he stinks. I mean, he just looked like he stinks.
I've been on the mega bus for the last 72 hours. That's what they're giving.
Okay.
And they're also trying to make it that he is just so wealthy, because last season he was still working in the fields picking cotton. This season now he's got millions to throw around and he can bankroll Andre's campaign. I mean, so I really feel like they're trying to make him out to have more money than what he actually really should have.
He's the devil at the edge of town. You know what I'm saying? He can't come in. He can do is try to get you to come out. You know what I'm saying?
But remember, he had money last season, because remember he used to go to the Pynk.
Yeah,
and he had money. He was just working. He just still had his farm. But he had money last season, remember? And I think something happened during the season. I don't think he started off with money, but I think something happened during last season.
He got money though, because the daddy left him money.
The father died. Yeah, because remember the father died, and that's why the brothers were so pissed off, because he walked away. They were like, "You were his bastard. Like he didn't even, he didn't claim you. How you in the will?" Remember,
I don't think he's with the brothers. I think he's trying to work this deal with Andre for himself.
And they haven't showed the other brother.
I don't think he's working with the brothers. I think he is trying to take the money he have and work this deal with Andre, and that way he can have something to throw up in the brother's face.
Yeah,
correct.
I definitely don't think he's working. I definitely don't think he's working with
Agreed.
He's not working with the brothers. I don't think that at all.
That's why he want to back Andre. He wants to try to do something for himself.
That is right, Dallas, because he said that. He actually said that last season when they were trying to force him to sign a paper.
Come on, Dallas.
That my brothers had blew their inheritance, and that's why they were trying to sell it for the $6 million to get some money.
They were the ones that needed the money.
You're right.
Corbin was good. Remember, because that's what because him and Clifford were cool.
Yeah.
And you remember he used to come in and always get the private room, and he had the money wasn't his issue. It was the brothers that money ran out. Yeah,
they tricked off their money. So speaking of Andre pulls up to the house, and the minute he walked in the door and we heard the sounds, I knew.
I knew when he pulled up. When he pulled up, I said, "This ain't gonna be good." Either she in there with another man, or it's divorce papers waiting for him on the bed or something. I said it's one of those two things. Because there's no other reason for them to show him going back home. That's it. So either there's divorce papers waiting for him, or it's another man up in there.
Yep. And that's
what I thought he was gonna come home to empty closets, like she had left, but now we know why she didn't leave.
Well, it was her damn house.
That's her house.
Yeah, it's her house.
I would have been like, "Can you close my door? Excuse me. Let's close that door. Let me get done."
Like the locks might not have worked. Okay.
Well, it should have been the other way around. Then Brittany should have been staying on the main level and had his ass down to the basement. Then
that's all I'm saying.
She was trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Xavier, you're terrible, Xavier.
Yeah, she was doing that Georgia Dome. You know what I'm saying?
What a way to
her neck was loose. Her neck was loose. And I would have been like, hold on a minute, baby. Can you close that door, Andre? Close that door.
And let me finish.
Okay. Let me get what I need to get real quick.
Right. Because my thing is, Andre can't stand on no moral high ground.
What a way to find out your wife is cheating on you.
You don't even love your wife. You like her, but you don't love her.
Well, it's the principle. It's the principle of it. We share this bed. And you have another man in here.
When last time you been in this bed, Andre? Huh? When last time you made me feel good, Andre? When was the last time you made me feel good?
I thought that's what she was going to say, though.
I will say this.
Her defense was going to be.
I will say this. Even though Andre has no moral high ground to stand on, that is the ultimate disrespect.
It is.
Go to a hotel. Let me find a hotel receipt or something. Do not bring this shit in my house. Because that is an ass whooping, and that is.
But that's her subconsciously. That's her passive aggressive way.
Find something, but for me to walk up in your house that I live with, But that is the ultimate disrespect.
It's all Freudian. It's all Freudian. Those things that you have deep down inside, even though you may think you have them compartmentalized, we see it throughout this episode. You feel like you got it pushed down and you got it handled, and in little ways it comes out. It is leaking out. And some people who can see, true empaths can really see, intuitive healing can really see what's going on with you. This is a passive aggressive way of her saying, you don't give me what I need. You don't put me first. You don't put us first. You do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Well, you saw how fast she switched up. You saw how quick she switched up.
I agree for the most part, Miss Honey. However, there's a reason why your marriage is the way it is. We didn't understand it last season when we see him slipping around, but there was a reason why Haley was able to get close to him. It takes me back to the whole Ghost and Tasha narrative. If you will take care of your man, support your man, love on your man, then you don't give anyone else the ability and opportunity to be able to do so. We learn in this that one reason why he's so upset about it is not so much of the fact that she was tricking and cheating on him. He knew the guy. They co-workers, so that makes it even worse.
She knew the guy.
He knew him too.
Oh, did he?
He knew him too. He called him by name.
Yeah, he called him by name.
He said, Jamal, really? I think he
no,
said it. Yeah.
Dante. His name was Dante.
Whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, really? So he knew the dude.
Yeah, he said, really, Dante, in my fucking bed or something like that, while he was choking him out.
Yeah, that's why you be telling people how bad your situation is at home.
I really thought he was going to take him on up out of here because he was getting ready to choke him out. Ass bone naked, dead.
Just like he's talking about, Andre going to ask him, how long you been sleeping with him? He was like, does it really matter? Like,
yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But
I really appreciate Andre not letting him put his clothes on. Let me just say that.
I thought that was brilliant. Mm-hmm.
That booty looked completely different going down them steps.
Well, there's your booty that you've been looking for, Crystal. There you go.
Because I saw what I wanted to see when he was choking him. I was good. I was good.
You're terrible. Somebody you saw what you wanted to see. But in her defense and in her justification of why she's doing what she's doing, Andre mentions that I was on my way home to get your blessings for wanting to run for mayor of Chucalissa. What do you say that for? She go off on him.
I'm about to say that was stupid because you already knew you wasn't gonna get that. So I don't even understand.
Well, maybe he really did want to discuss it with her. Maybe he really did want to discuss it with her.
But he knew what in the last 2 seasons have given you the impression that she supports anything going on in Chucalissa. She couldn't get out of Chucalissa fast enough last season. Remember when she came down to surprise him? She couldn't get out of there fast enough. She wants no parts of anything dealing with Chucalissa.
Yeah, because she's trying to redevelop him. She's trying to recreate him. She's trying to recreate him. We learned that last episode when she was trying to get him to go represent her father's hedge fund. And then, of course, she's got him living this life in Atlanta, which he doesn't seem to be too pleased with or too happy with. So she's trying to recreate him. She's trying to rearrange him. And so, yeah, you go down here and get this little bit of money for trying to put this casino together. But really, I need you back here in Atlanta living a prominent high society life. And he's not high society. So
yeah, it's typical, though. It goes back to what you were saying, Retro. When you kind of pulled my point across a little, you challenged my point a little bit about their relationship. They're probably like a lot of us. You know, you come out of college, this is what you're supposed to do. I'm a doctor and you're a lawyer, and then we're supposed to get together and then we're supposed to build this life and have this whole facade. He's never really co-signed fully on the facade. She has. Her family has, and she's been dragging 15 cents along trying to make it $1 low these many years. He's telling her in little ways, I'm never, ever going to be the dollar that you need. I'm trying to grow on my own and do this. It should have been severed a long time ago. It's just coming across in this way. It's falling apart because it was never set on strong foundation in the first place. You know, neither one of them are bad.
She makes money, Xavier. I'll give you that. She makes money, but I don't want to say she's 100% the breadwinner because I mean, attorneys.
He's a lawyer, though. That wasn't that his whole thing last year.
It wasn't like he was broke and destitute and didn't have a job.
But he seems like it is. He's in there playing. I'm like, you a lawyer?
Well, that's because he got fired from Promised Land. He was obviously in private practice.
It's a lot of ambulances to chase. It's doctors to sue, and with all this panacea going on, the judges is working, lawyers is working too. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like he was depressed. I feel like that's what they were showing us at the beginning. That with the scruffy beard and him sitting there playing video games, and I think they were just trying to show that him not keeping the house clean. Right. I think he was depressed, probably depressed about the whole thing getting fired, him and his godfather not being in a good place. Like, I think that's part of what's going on with
causing the whole deal to go through with the casino.
I get it. I get your point, and I think you're right.
But you're right, Retro. She is trying to domesticate him to a lifestyle that she deems
domesticate.
Yes, she is. She expects for him to live this lifestyle that her family expects for them to be living. And I mean, he said it in their argument that, this is your family's house. They've always made it be known that this is their home or your house or whatever the case may be. I've never really felt like I fit in.
And Authentically Young said that even the dude that she was messing with, he said that's the guy your family wanted you to marry.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. That's right. He sure did.
Mm-hmm. Well, she gonna have him now.
Well, she said it all. She wounded him when she said you ain't gonna win. That hurt him worse than seeing her. She said you ain't gonna win. Yeah,
the way she said it. You're right, Miss Honey.
He was more hurt about that than that Georgia Dome she was putting on Jamal.
Because like you said, they don't love each other. There's no love there. So yeah, he was more hurt that she told him, your ass ain't gonna win.
You ain't gonna win.
She was so dry. She was so dry looking too. I was like, ooh, I know that dome wasn't good because
but before I left, I would have went here and got my stuff on about that closet.
You should at least put some lashes on, girl. You got to at least put some lashes on. You can't just be
makeup or something
dry and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't a Georgia dime yourself now. So I mean, you walk around here with your nose up in the air, but you really ain't a Georgia dime.
That man didn't look like his knees was buckled at all. He was standing strong. I mean, how you just pump your brakes, sis?
I feel like maybe she was just getting started. I feel like
really, you so optimistic, girl. Yeah, what you always want you on my side.
Her mouth was dry. Yeah,
I feel like she was just getting the party started.
I always want really be on my side, baby, because she is not gonna let me down. She's gonna be like, girl, yeah, you did kill him, but the way you shot him, girl, that was professional.
Yeah, her mouth was dry.
I be trying, y'all.
She didn't have no skills. So we get to Mercedes.
Not King Retro talking about something she need guidance.
So we get to Mercedes. She's getting ready to go back and finish the Mercedes special. And we learned that Farrah is there at the condo. Is this Mercedes condo that was given to her, or is this the residence that they live at?
That's her condo that they lease for her. Because remember, she said that last week. She said $10,000 a month and a condo. So
I didn't think that was the condo.
Yeah.
It's okay, nice, so then what's up with the pictures of Coach then in the condo?
Because that's probably Mercedes ain't the first concubine. Yeah, that's just his spot. She there for however long. It ain't hers.
If she fulfill the contract, the maybe it'll be hers, but she got to fulfill the contract first. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's probably his condo. Yeah, it's his condo that he uses because they clearly have another house. So that's the condo he uses when he's in town after a game, blah, blah, blah.
And she got her own house.
Or for her drop off.
And then part of her offer letter was $10,000 a week in this condo. And I'm sure it was also negotiated that at the end of her tenure here at Coach University, which he looked like Candyman to me, the original Candyman, at Coach Candyman University, you will get this condo as a severance package. That's what I think is going on, because she's definitely an employee, because that text was like, you shorted me 4 hours on Friday, so I want you to come on in on Sunday and make up them hours, make up that time.
Yep. You on the clock.
Okay, you can't use your vacation days for 30 days. You got to give me 90 days probation.
So Farrah is there getting her photography equipment, and they start having conversation. And I said this last week. I knew that this is where we were going with this. I knew that this was going to develop a relationship between the two of them that did not include Coach. And I think that's going to be a problem when Coach finds out that his wife and Mercedes are now. Kind of reminds me of
it's not going to be a problem until Coach. It's not going to be a problem until Coach realized that Mercedes has instilled his freedom, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she
independent voice in the Farrah.
She's planting seeds in Farrah, and she's training her.
Seeds. Come on, preacher.
She's training her, and she's also helping her build confidence. As you can see, Farrah is very unconfident of herself from her body, her performance of her body, her strength, because she even mentions it about, you're strong. I wish I could be you, or I wish I could be a version of you. And so now you see Mercedes giving her those little nuggets that say, well, you can be, you just have to embrace it. It's there. You just got to learn how to use it. And so
she helping Mercedes release her inner freak.
Yeah,
because she got the grooming part down pat. It's the confidence part. You're right.
The confidence. When she put on that pole, like, listen, you can do this too.
Oh, the way she felt like a smashed bug. The way she and then
she tried to embrace that side, but then quickly jump back to the other side. And Mercedes had to check her ass real quick. Well, you naked right now, so don't try to make me feel bad about being a stripper when you turned on by this stripper. And you want to do the things that this stripper is doing.
She fell in love with Mercedes when she saw her dance. When she got the Mercedes experience, you can see in her face that she fell for her in that moment.
Well, actually,
that's why she's playing these little texting games.
It started.
I just can't get my camera equipment.
Right, I'm gonna get my camera equipment. It started with her when she stood up to Coach about them pictures. When Coach tried to
demean her.
That was very smart of Mercedes.
Yeah, it was.
It was very smart.
Mercedes
she ingratiated herself.
Yeah, she knew she had to win the wife over. She knew the wife wasn't feeling her.
Yeah.
And then when she got on that pole, that just brought it deeper in.
Yeah.
Listen, we all fell in love with Mercedes on that pole.
Yeah, she did that.
Okay.
But it's the morning after. I don't know if it was literally the morning after, but
I think it was just a couple of hours later.
Yeah. Well, it's after the fact, but you also kind of see a little bit of regret on both parts a little bit because Mercedes quickly put her jacket back on. She don't see you ass bone naked. What you covering up for now? It's kind of like the reality is setting in that this is actually not what I signed up for.
I'm not. You're not just in this with Coach.
Right, you're not.
Did you remember? You're in this with Coach, the Coach and his wife.
Well, maybe I need to renegotiate those terms because I believe
you work for the CEO and the vice president.
Right, I believe the original agreement was for Coach to get the Mercedes experience, not the whole family.
No, you got to do Biden and Kamala.
Oh my goodness. What do you think we're going to see going forward? I mean, we saw what happened in this episode. Do you think this is going to be ongoing? This affair?
Yeah.
Because it's
going to climax at some point. It's going to climax at some point. This Mercedes character she will continue probably to grow professionally in this role as a concubine, but she won't grow emotionally. And Katori is putting a lot of emotions in the forefront in this season because it's really about how everybody's kind of dancing with the devil by the pale moonlight. And this is Mercedes' dance. She's only going to be able to do it for so long, just like in her real life dancing.
Good points. So the club has 24 hours to put the countermeasures in place that the health inspector has cited them for. So Duffy comes through with the 18-wheeler, and they've got a whole bunch of PPE and protective equipment in the back, and a bunch of Africans that they found from somewhere.
French Africans.
I don't know where they
French
found
speaking.
These
That's that Ghana region. That's a more French speaking. They said when he was in there, and he was in the room that's on the other side of heaven. He was when he started to speak, they put his language on the captions. They put what that dialect was, and I just didn't catch it.
I think it was French. I think it was.
Yeah, it's French African because the people that braid my hair speak it.
Mm-hmm. And Toy.
King Retro talking about something. She enjoyed herself, and I enjoyed them.
She really did. Mercedes didn't look like she was scared though. She didn't look like it was her first time.
And both of them talking about something. This our first time. I can't tell.
Mercedes was like, girl, no, you don't do this.
And the way that wife got between them legs, and the way Mercedes was
Mercedes said, no, I don't think I can do this.
Y'all not acting like this the first time.
Whoa. Mercedes was kind of backed up because
Mercedes legs was like, come on,
like, bling.
Let's do this. And Mercedes
you remember in the first episode when she was screaming and hollering at Bob. So, she was kind of backed up. So, she needed that attention.
Yeah. She finna go straight to the little man in the boat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
They were naturals.
Yeah.
So Toy has rounded up the girls to come help, fix the club, clean the club, put the club together. But Toy need to be out on sick leave right now. She don't need to be.
Toy don't need to be nowhere near. Like, all this is your fault, girl.
Right. Diamond shows up, and Diamond wants to help them. Somewhere along the way, the Dirty Dozen has picked up Gidget, which I thought Gidget was in Arizona, so I don't even know how she gets.
What was the point? What was Gidget's point?
I don't know what the point was too, other than that scene with Big T. I think that was the only point for her to be here because she just felt out of place with this crew.
Yeah, that's why I said all these the few white assertions that we do see are just not favorable, which I love because typically
we see it in every episode. They are giving us a nugget with this "Who Killed Me" game. Somebody is going to be the killer in this crew. I don't know who it is. Somebody could also end up being the victim in this crew.
Oh, there's fodder there. There's fodder there.
Somebody's a killer in this crew.
Yeah.
And somebody's
it's quite a few notices have gone out now.
Yes.
You do on this day. We don't know when we gonna cut. We gonna.
Somebody.
I think we are looking at some foreshadowing that somebody's gonna die.
Yeah. I think the killer is going to be Keyshawn. Somehow, some way, I do feel like someone said it in the comments earlier. Somehow, some way, I do feel like Wody could be a victim.
I mean, he could die.
I think we probably gonna get rid of two people. We're gonna get rid of the killer, and we're gonna get rid of the victim, right? I think Derek is more likely going to be our victim for this season, or one of our victims this season, because it could easily be Duffy. Okay, messing around with Hades, aka roulette. That's a dangerous game.
That's why I'm going to say you really are playing Russian roulette.
Yeah, because she got some bodies on her hands. Trust me, she got some bodies on her hands.
I can't see them doing it this early on unless this is the end all for P-Valley. It's only going to be 2 seasons. If they plan on going any other season, I can't see it being Little Murder. But it could possibly be Little Murder too.
I don't think it's going to be Little Murder.
Maybe not this soon.
I don't think it's going to be Little Murder.
Maybe not.
You know what? Little Murder might end up having to kill Big T.
But
I don't think that's gonna get him kicked off. I think he is gonna have.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a situation where he go to jail for it.
Yeah, we're not gonna lose that character.
So let me throw this out there right now. At some point, Mississippi and Diamond both find themselves back at the Pynk. Let's be clear. Both of them are going to be at the Pynk.
Come on now.
And I think Big Teak is going to figure out that Uncle Clifford is Clifford. And I think there's going to be some sort of showdown with the 3 of them. Now, I ain't going to say I'm not saying that's the big climax, but I think at some point, Lil Murder makes his way back to the Pynk, and he knows who Clifford is. He's like, oh, wait a minute, whoa, that's the dude that you love? Oh, okay. And I think Murder's going to have to save Clifford he's going to have to it's basically like making a decision of his heart, right? And he's going to choose Clifford.
And Dallas, killing Big T. I feel you on that. I don't necessarily think he's going to go to jail, but a little murder is involved. some way, somehow, he's involved.
I think
agree. And he may be the killer. It may be him and Keyshawn that are the actual killers, and Zeke and Derek are the victims.
That may be true, but I think Crystal is absolutely right. I've been feeling it from the moment we saw Big Teak come out of jail that Clifford is gonna have. Lil Murder is gonna be the one to put him down, and I think it's gonna be putting him down. It's gonna come across in a more compassionate way. In other words, it's for your own good type situation because he's clearly coming undone.
He's unhinged. Well, and it's a more serious issue that needs to be addressed in our community with our brothers that get out of jail, especially those who have been in war. Mm-hmm. We see that. We actually see this with both of these characters, with Zeke and Diamond, because the tension and the stress and the post-traumatic stress that they have, and it's not being treated.
Yeah.
Especially
that's the beauty of Katori's writing too, and I love it.
You actually saw it in last episode when he was talking about being in that hole. We knew that done something to him. We knew that he being there in that hole, that did something to his mental, and so it just further just developed maybe a pre-existing mental illness. Sometimes anger can be on the borderline of mental illness when it comes associated with bipolarism or manicnism,
or having been brutalized.
We
don't know what happened pre-jail. We don't know what happened that connected them, that it may have been something that happened in their childhood. He's clearly been a wounded person, and this has been building up. Jail, crimes, things going on in jail, all of this. Now you're coming out, and remember, he just got out of jail, so he hasn't even had time to decompress, really,
or to even get ushered back into. And then guess what? He's being released during a pandemic.
Yeah. So everybody's just eyes.
He's being released from captivity into captivity.
Ooh, come on, Pastor.
So all this is just reaffirming his emotions of what he was experiencing while he was locked up. I'm locked up on the inside. I'm locked up on the outside. So his character needs mental health. He needs mental health. So we're at the club. Speaking of mental health, Diamond is there. He's helping out. He's doing his thing. And he walks by the Paradise Room. Why don't y'all just close the Paradise Room down? Everybody's scared to go in there.
I call it the portal to hell. It is a portal to hell. It's and the one with the sofas is the other side of heaven.
It's another dimension.
It's the portal to hell. All them glowing lights around the doorways. I was like, ooh, child.
It looks like hell. That's
the devil's master bedroom.
Remember when we first had the Paradise Room, it was white with the white clouds and everything. It was like your paradise to heaven.
Yeah.
Now
it's the portal to hell. Yeah. Don't nothing good go on in that room. Don't nothing good go on in that room.
Yep. Everything
since this happened.
Exactly. Everything that we've seen since.
Yeah.
Is something bad that's happening in this room.
Yeah.
So Diamond is hallucinating. He's walking in a puddle of water that doesn't exist. Montavious' hand is coming from out the water.
It's crazy because that was the whole point. First of all, it's weird. This is the rub. They turn his character into this,
Voodoo Prince, Dr.
Voodoo, right?
Yep,
okay. At the same time, he's frightened. He is scared in this moment. He's fearful. He doesn't trust his own eyes. What was the point of you taking the ring and creating this shrine for the ring to hold Montavious there when? But then we see in this scene where he is just completely thrown off his square. He is just completely off, not just in this moment, but hours later when he talks to
Big L. We've never seen his character like that before.
Never. He's always been, and that switch up for me, I just didn't like. I didn't like it when he was going over, it didn't have anything to do with the voodoo because I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that. What I'm afraid of is that this character, the authenticity of this character is being lost, spinning it in this way.
Right. And see, that's why I said this whole storyline to me is a distraction. Everything else I got going on is great. There's some great storylines. It's a great, but this is just a whole distraction.
And really, to be quite honest with you, y'all got enough going on right now where we could have just forgotten about Montavious. How many shows?
It happened. Y'all killed them. That's it.
Yeah, you killed them. That's it.
And we can stop talking about it. The best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. If it's a secret, y'all shouldn't even be talking about it amongst yourselves. Every time I turn around, y'all bringing this ninja's name up.
It's been brought up in every episode.
Oh my gosh.
It has literally been brought up in every episode. And Big L seems to be the only one out of all of them, because you see Mercedes is struggling with it. Uncle Clifford was even struggling with it, because remember, he done told everybody when he was getting kidnapped that he helped cut this man's body up and put it in the water.
I don't know how people live with bodies in the backyard for years and years and years, and y'all can't live with this one incident of self-defense.
It's self-defense, exactly.
It was self-defense. You had to do it. Can we just move on and stop bringing him up?
A me or them situation.
Big L seems to be the only one that is not struggling with this, and he go in there, and I think he kind of even picked up on the vibe with Diamond that, okay, you off, bro. Like, come on, bring your ass up out of here, man. And we need you back at the club. I need you back at the club.
Yeah, but he's seen it a couple of times. Big L has seen it a couple of times. I really love Big L in this episode. This is the first episode where he gave me season 1 Big L.
They're actually giving him more depth than they gave him last time.
I haven't liked him for the first 3 episodes. I haven't liked this caricature, these costumes. I haven't cared for that with Big L. This is the first episode in this season where we saw season 1 Big L, where he's kind of more of an anchor or a rudder for the group. You know, he's whatever Clifford needs, he finds a way to get it done. And he's also dropping wisdom and encouragement and things like that. This is the Big L I fell in love with. This is the Big L that can get it. That Big L with them platform shoes on. No, sir. No, sir. Go away from me.
I definitely like his character here better than I did on Empire. So
yeah, and Big L is fine. Big L is fine. Did you see him this episode when he turned around and that cut on his back, even through that paisley shirt? I was like, Big L, what is you doing? Yeah, Big L is fine. I'd like to see him work a pole. I'm just saying, take your shirt off.
I'll remember where are my brothers at today.
To each his own. To each his own. That's all I got to say about that.
You don't think Big L is sexy?
He's not my cup of tea. No.
Well, you need to get a better teacup. Okay, because Big L is studly.
So, somebody here go Miss Honey. So they're at the club, you know, Uncle Clifford is fixing plates for everyone, you know, he feeding everybody, and they're watching the TV, and they find out that the curfew is being enforced, or a curfew is being put in place, but it's not being put in place for the pandemic. It's being put in place because
black folks. Well, ain't nobody paying attention.
Remember, we learned in this broadcast, the same broadcast, we learned that a cop had just killed a black guy. And that's very reminiscent to some storylines that were going on in that time in 2020. And so everyone is rioting and upset. And Pastor Woodbine has a whole sermon on TV, which was actually pretty powerful because she
was talking to the protesters.
Yeah, she was talking to the protesters.
Every opportunity she gets to be on camera, she takes it.
Well, she moved.
But you saw where basically the next day they were calling her, you know, they were like, you know, your mother saved
us. The Al Sharpton,
yeah. So it definitely, whatever, and that's what I was telling Retro before you came on. I was like, they're definitely setting her character up to be the savior. I think she's
the voice of the people.
I think she's gonna mess around and she's gonna be the one that's gonna end up being mayor.
Yeah,
that's what
she might be mayor, but she don't have a character. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, is that she does a good job of playing this character, but internally she doesn't have a lot of character.
It's gonna be a female version. She's gonna be a female version of the dude that just died.
Yeah,
Ruffin.
Yeah, she's gonna be the female version of Ruffin. Yep.
Well, Ruffin was a Robin Hood ninja, though. Remember?
Yeah. Right. But
I think he's being written that way now.
Yeah.
Initially, I don't think he was.
I think they're trying to write Patrice that way, but I will never forget.
Yeah, I think all of this is a change in direction with those characters. I don't think that those characters were originally written to be what they're becoming.
But they popular.
Because now they're trying to make Patrice's anti-hero for all of us to love her. I still ain't got shit for her because she stole from her daughter.
And every time I see you, it's on site, boo. Every time. Yeah, that wig is going to the ground hard.
And these commercials where the blessings reside and the money reside and all that to me is still a facade. Like her
she's just Bengali.
She's doing the same thing that she did with Mercedes. She's finessing everybody for her
she's a Pied Piper, is Bengali.
Yeah, yes, she is. But we saw that it moved enough of Roulette to have her it reactivated her grief. And we kind of already talked about it, but Big L kind of comforts her, and so I'm not going to really spend too much time talking about that. Other than it could possibly turn out where Patrice does become the mayor. I don't want her to. I actually want Andre to win. But
I want Uncle Clifford to win. I want Uncle Clifford to run. That's the only way he's going to be able to really keep a tab on all of them.
He really should have ran. And that way he could have shut this whole casino thing down. But that's what's going to end up happening anyway if Patrice wins. But is it a possibility there's a tie between her and Andre? Patrice ain't got no money to float no campaign, so she's going to have a.
Yes, the hell she does. You ain't see all that money.
She brought in from the church. Are you saying she's brought in enough money from the church to do a campaign run?
It's Chucalissa. It ain't that like it can't be that like. How much money you need? It's Chucalissa.
Yeah, I guess so.
Patrice is a devil that we know. Okay, so you're gonna have Andre, and you're gonna have I think it should be Andre and Uncle Clifford. Really, okay. I think we're gonna get rid of the interim mayor. Patrice is gonna do that, and then what we're gonna have is this war wage between good and evil, this perception of good and evil. Patrice is the devil we know, the perception of good, and Clifford is that perceived evil because of, he run the paint, right?
But it's really good.
But he's really good. He has just as much influence in Chucalissa as Patrice does, except Patrice is promoting herself and her devilment better than he working on trying to get the Pynk straight. See, that's why I'm like, while y'all fussing with all of them, you got to be thinking strategically.
Yeah, but she also has a better platform than he does too. She has a church, so she's massive.
She's already got her audience. She's got a captive audience.
Yeah, Uncle Clifford don't have a shot in hell.
But I do think that Andre does.
Really?
I think Andre does.
Uncle Clifford,
really? Yeah, really. Why not?
In the Bible Belt.
Yeah, they would vote for him.
It's Chucalissa. Don't nobody care. Y'all can set Chucalissa on fire.
Yes, they do. Go back to last season. Yes, they do.
Because remember how the practitioners reacted when he showed up for the protest, and how they were looking at him. Yeah,
it's the whoever's bringing the casino is going to be the one that funds the individual. That so it's. Essentially, when Corbin says, "Hey, Andre, if you do run, let me know, and I will financially back you." Ultimately, that's going to be the casino people backing Andre. Andre is going to be with the money. Typically, it's the one with the most money that wins. Typically, so it's a toss up. It's a toss up. I just put Uncle Clifford out there because I think that would be so much fun. Win,
or it could possibly be that. Well, it's going to be a situation where you're going to have people that are not going to vote for either of them. Like, you got to think about the people over at the Pynk, they're not going to vote for either one of them. They're not going to vote for Patrice, and they're damn sure not going to vote for Andre. So, they're kind of neutral. So, I think it's going to... If
Clifford runs, it would at least be fun. It would at least be fun.
I think Patrice wins, and last night, the way she handled the riots is what's going to do it.
That's what I was thinking too. That's why I'm leaning more towards Patrice winning. Initially, I thought Andre was going to win. It would have been a perfect fit. His goddaddy was a former mayor. He's black. He's a lawyer. Blah 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 blah.
He seems like he really wants to do it too. He doesn't.
And he seems like he really wants to. Yeah,
it seems like this is the thing he's been waiting on. You can be president, and this is his attempt at it. His run at it. So
we got to watch a couple more episodes and see this storyline further develop for me to get a for me to get a definite who's going to win. But right now, it's a toss up between both actually. And there's no way for both of them to win, so it's going to be hard. We'll see. So, Big Bones outside the club. She's on her bike, and she is hard down flirting with Diamond. Like she pretty much laid it out. Like, listen, them other girls, they yapping in there about you, but I'm going to do to you what they scared to do to you because they scared of you. All right. So I actually like this chemistry because we know that they have a relationship off camera in real life. And so on camera, I really like to see real couples have this relationship. Kind of like Boris Cujo and what's her name, Nicole Ali Parker and Soul Food. They were a real couple in real life, and they play a couple. I like storylines like that. So it's interesting to see where Big Bone and Diamond are going to go.
It was good. I liked it.
I think this is gonna upset Keyshawn whenever she does come back and see that Diamond has moved on.
It's not gonna upset her. It's gonna ignite her. It's gonna ignite her because she need to get rid of that loser. But I don't know. She got a lot of work to do. That's a lot of trust she threw out the river, out the window.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you where I'm thinking where Keyshawn's gonna end up in another abusive situation. I think she's gonna leave one abusive situation and go into another.
Wrong.
Yep.
Ooh, I seen it.
You saw it too?
Ooh, I really did. When he said, "I'll take care of you, I'll protect you," I was like, girl, that sounds so pimpish. You just trading pot for cattle.
That's her true pimp right there. That is her true pimp because Derek is not necessarily pimping her out for money because he doesn't want her to work.
Right.
He's really trying to get a job. He's really trying to be the man of the house, but he's ineffective at doing it. Yeah. But Rome
he's her captor.
Yes. Yeah. He's going to be her true captor.
Yeah. And everything he does sounds pimpish. Even when he's just talking to the fellows, it's something about that toothpick in the mouth and he's talking like T.I. I was like, oh, he's so grimy.
He's a cokehead too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we know that there's trouble brewing with Rome.
He grimy.
So it's gonna be interesting to see who gets killed because we thinking it's gonna be Derek. It could be Rome.
Oh, that's interesting. Ian Williams. She thinks, or they think that Patrice is going to back down and back Andre.
I read that too, and I like that. I like the two of them teaming up because again, you're right. Both of them can't win, but one of them will win because it ain't gonna be the brother. He ain't winning.
White boy not gonna be able to team up with Andre because Andre is pro casino.
He wants but they both the devil. We know that's what I'm telling you. This season is all about good versus evil.
Yeah. Well, it's evil versus evil at this point because they're kind of all have their own hidden agendas. And I think Andre's motive for pushing the casino through now is to honor his godfather, not necessarily Corbin. Corbin is just a vehicle used to get it done. Patrice is just trying to show everyone that didn't support her, those other pastors and stuff that treated her badly last season. She's just trying to show everyone that you underestimate the underdog, but I'm really a force to be reckoned with. So I think Patrice's ultimate goal is for acceptance.
Xavier is crazy. That's it, Miss Honey. Honey is right. It's giving T.I. It's very T.I. But listen, Andre is not necessarily evil. He is just trifling. That's what Xavier says. He came in the door though with this ulterior motive with Mayor Ruffin though. Remember, Mayor Ruffin was our enemy, and Andre was co-signing with the enemy, even though he had his moments.
Because once Andre started seeing that he was about the money and he was about self.
Once Andre got a whiff of Autumn's meow, then he switched up because before that he was all for trying to get Clifford to sign them papers and
Actually, well, you talking about a team up where y'all think it's going to be Patrice and Andre that's teaming up. It's really going to be Autumn and Andre teaming up.
She said it. That's the perfect setup. That'll be the perfect setup. When he told her he was running, that would be the perfect setup. I was like, "Oh, this girl is."
He gonna get her the money. He gonna get her the money that she wants for that club, and that's gonna be the real setup. But I kind of almost agree. I understand that Uncle Clifford wants to hold on to the club for nostalgic reasons, and it has to be for that purpose. Because I mean, if you get $3 million out of the deal, you do have enough money to go open another Pynk somewhere else.
But listen, what did Big L say? When Big L was talking to Diamond, what did he say? This is the perfect spot. This is the sweet spot. This is where all the money is going to be. It either runs through it or on all four sides of it. We got the river, we got the railroad, we got all these freeways. This is prime land. It's prime land for him to sell for 10 million when you can make 20 million in the first 10 years. I'm just stretching it there, but typically you could triple that. Now I know it's a panacea, but still it's people out here making bank off of this flesh business. So for Clifford to take 3 million, it's foolish. It's like selling your grandma's antiques for pennies.
Yeah, he is selling himself short. So
play the long game.
So Mercedes wakes up and she gets a text message. Well, Farrah gone. Farrah done gone and left her a text message. Something that was wonderful, and I can't.
She left them stacks.
She left them stacks.
Ooh, child, I would have just laid in and looked at that money.
She left that Skrilla.
Yeah, that's that post-coitus Skrilla.
But what are we seeing Mercedes processing here? Because she seems to be conflicted. She seems to be bothered.
Well, you wake up, first of all, she already not comfortable with the situation to begin with. She's doing it out of necessity. Because remember, she turned Coach down in the beginning. So she's only doing this out of necessity to save her gym. And then you feel like a hoe. Like it's one thing to sign the paperwork and all that good stuff. It's something different to wake up and it's just $10,000 on the bedstand in cash. It really make you feel some kind of way.
But she's looking at her mama. Her mama has always told her she's not good enough. You just this and that. This all you are. This all you ever gonna be. Yada yada yada. And so to go from that to look at that money is kind of like what Patrice has told her. You ain't gonna never get up out of this. You ain't gonna never break away from it. This all you ever gonna be. You started out hoeing at 15, and you're gonna keep hoeing. Every time she goes back into that situation with the coach and the missus, she feels like Patrice is right.
Okay. I think that's the perfect way to describe that, because she's definitely processing a moment of feeling here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. So we're at the hotel. The Dirty Dozen, I think I missed the scene, but the Dirty Dozen, they had been on the road, and they heard on the radio that the club that they were going to in Birmingham was shut down for the night, and they had to go back to their hotel because of the curfew. And then this is where DJ Never Scared calls again, trying to get Little Murder on this track with Meg Thee Stallion.
They heard him on the radio in the car.
They heard him on the radio, and they called him.
And that's when the reality set in that maybe I need to do this track. So they're back at the hotel now. Little Murder decides to excuse himself to go work on the verse for the feature. And so he leaves Big Zeke behind in a room with Rome and Gidget and Keyshawn. And Big Zeke is sitting there watching TV. He's watching the news. So he's watching all this stuff that's going on about the curfew. He's watching about the riots and the black guy that got killed by the police. So he's having a hard time with all of this. And Rome cuts the TV off to toast to Keyshawn's glow up or whatever. And they all celebrating that. And Zeke walks over and is like, "Why did you turn the TV off?" He's like, "This is my room. If you don't like it, you can leave." So they get into an altercation. He goes batshit crazy, stomps the coffee table.
Right.
Who gonna pay for that?
That's coming out of your deposit, bruh.
That coming out your credit card hole, your authorization hole at that hotel. That bill gonna be hot.
And then we also peep the fact that he's staying at a suite and everybody else is just staying in a regular room.
With double beds. With double beds, right.
Right.
I said that last week. Everybody else staying in double beds. We also see that Keyshawn is triggered by violence, or she's triggered by
Stockholm.
Stockholm. That's exactly what it is.
Stockholm syndrome.
That's exactly what it is. It took her back to a moment of her current situation.
Yeah, it's like backfiring mufflers, for people who've been in the military.
Like that PTSD.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is and I'm not gonna over talk it because I did my review, so you can hear the full thing there. But what I love about this whole Dirty Dozen thing is that anger for Teak is present. You know what I'm saying? It's like another person in the room. You know what I'm saying? He's actually radiating this hot energy. And while Waldy is standing on the outside, it is Lil Murda that can see that this is about to go south. He can see his energy. Remember, he said, I hate it when you get like this, right? Okay, so that's one of the things I loved about this whole thing. Like in the background of everything, the lashes and publishing and DJ Never Nervous and all of that, we keep getting this radiating heated energy. The way he looks out the window, you can just tell he is in this real volatile place. And so for Gidget to be in his ear, and it was this place where he took it all and put it on that table. Now I don't know how much they pay for them tables, but it ain't enough. Okay. And it just goes through the whole scene. I loved it so much. I loved it so much because he was representing a lot of different stuff. The anger we feel as the culture, you know, that hopelessness, that just place where you just
never be seen beyond a stereotype.
He had a lot going on. Yes, he's an ex-con. He just got out and he's dealing with some things, you know, personally, but also he did a great job of pushing that the temperament of the culture at that time, what it was. He did a great job of pushing that forward. And the conversation that Rome had with him about that wasn't his fault. Did you saw how big he was? Well, what did he do? That was all of the conversations we were having at that time. It was a great moment.
And let's add another big piece to that he could possibly be struggling with. They haven't shown us that yet, but you just have to assume that he probably is also struggling with his sexuality.
Oh yeah, that's why I said the personal piece, because I knew we was getting to this other place. You know, that's
and that's a very big battle that he's probably fighting on the inside as well.
You can't be nothing. You can't be black. You can't be gay. You can't be gay and black.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be free. You can't, you know what I'm saying, walk across the street. You can't have a broken tail light. Okay, you can't protest. You can't walk around the streets. You know what I'm saying? And voice your opinion. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
What did I missed it? I didn't miss it. I heard it, but I didn't capture it. What when he's talking, sitting on the edge of the bed after Lil Murda asked him what's wrong, and he said nothing, stop lying. And when he got through with his montage, Murda said something about the black man in the street. You can't just, I don't know what Murda said, but it was powerful, and it kind of summated what Teak was saying.
Well, the way I took that, or the way I received it, was this has been an ongoing struggle for him. Whereas Little Murda it's a struggle for him too, but it's not as powerful. It doesn't affect him as much as it affects Zeke on an emotional level. Because we obviously see that Little Murda is able to calm that rage.
Murda is a comforter.
He's a comforter.
He's a comforter.
Yes.
We've seen it from season 1. He's a comforter. It's in his eyes. It's in the way he handles things. Remember the girl at the convenience store? He knew when he walked up to her that she was afraid, she was fearful. Yep. Just looking at her, he was able to calm her down. Like, it's okay. It's okay. He's a comforter. That the whole prelude to what they did sexually was all comfort. The holding of the head, the holding him close to him, the kissing of the forehead, the cheek. He hesitated to kiss him on the mouth because I think he just wanted to comfort him and support him and say, I understand. But I think he knew that Teak wanted more, and that he had to give Teak more in order for Teak to take it down a notch.
I agree. That is the perfect way to describe that, because that's exactly the way it comes across. And whereas Teak is receiving that comfort, but he's also receiving it in an affectionate way.
He's taking it as love. He's
taking
it as love.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because he has feelings for Little Murder that he may or may not have told Little Murder that I have feelings for you. Little Murder is just
Little Murder no. Little Murder no. He's loved him for a long time, and Little Murder no. But Little Murder also know he bad-ish.
As he could be.
He knows that he planned on keeping it quiet in order enough to have a career. Teak ain't the one he can be with.
And you almost see the morning after when he wakes up and Zeke confronts him about the postcard, the reality sets in that I am going to put Cliff in danger now if I don't subdue this situation, because this is going to be it's the same thing that we saw happen with Pico last week when Pico started making
this was gonna get Rome killed. You right. That's what gonna get Rome killed, because he's trying to low key trying to uncover it and see confirm what Pico said, and it's gonna end up getting his jaw broke.
And it was no accident. I mean, it was definitely writing. Going back to what you were saying, that everything is very purposeful. It was very interesting that at the end, when they were in the car, Uncle Clifford has been ignoring him for 6 months, and it was that moment that's when he decided to text him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all coming down. See what I'm saying? But at the time, he don't need Clifford to be involved.
But that's why I said there's got to be a showdown. There has to be a moment. There has to be a moment where Murder has to make a decision, and because we know that Teak is batshit, right?
And I think the showdown is the understatement.
Another murder in that club. Murder night 2.
I think showdown is an understatement. I think that Teak has the possibility to be one of the most explosive characters on this show
because of his anger.
You can see it even in the sex scene. And I agree with you, Xavier.
I agree too. And the thing is this, he's going to whoop Uncle Clifford's ass.
Oh.
And Murder is going to have to kill him. That's just, I see a physical altercation. I see him physically putting his hands on Uncle Clifford.
And Little Murder having to come in. I see a full-on kidnapping. Yeah. I think Uncle Clifford going to go missing.
It's not going to be like, oh, he's shooting at him. No. It's going to be physical.
It's going to be a conversation too. It's going to be a kidnapping / in this conversation,
what we're going to learn is the feelings that Little Murder has for Uncle Clifford is the feelings that Zeke wants him to have for him. And knowing that Little Murder has those feelings for someone else and not him, that's what's going to ignite.
But also, Clifford lives out loud. Clifford lives out loud. And
whereas
it pisses a lot of gay men who feel they have to cover up. It pisses them off that you have the audacity. See, the dynamics is crazy. It's crazy because, and I'm not in that world, but just hearing those conversations about how there is homophobia within the gay lifestyle, right? There are straight, this down low men or men who identify as masculine leaning, who despise this femininity that comes out. But for you to be living out loud and be successful and loved at living out loud and unbothered by your haters, that can make you hated by someone who doesn't feel they have the opportunity or the ability to live out loud. I think he's going to have some serious conversations when he finally finds out who Cliff is and gets a chance to pull Clifford. I think that's what we're going to see. And we're going to see those conversations and we're going to learn a little bit more about this dynamic.
Well, we knew this was going to be the most powerful and deeply discussed scene. We kind of got fast forward to that. I'm just going to double back real quick to what we also
don't say double back.
We're going to go back. We're going to go back to the events at the club when Uncle Clifford finds out that Haley has been staying at the club. I'm trying to figure out where he thought she was staying.
Right. I'm like, because and then when Mercedes said, well, she said she was staying with friends. What friends?
Yeah. Y'all the only people she knows.
Like, what friends does she have? Like, come on, y'all.
Y'all the only
that girl ain't had nowhere to go.
No, y'all know she didn't have nowhere to go.
What y'all thought was in all them trash bags?
Right. You mean to tell me this is the first time y'all noticed them in the club? So Uncle Clifford and Mercedes is in the office, and Andre comes up to the club and lets Haley know that his wife isn't cheating on him or whatever the case may be. So
She was so happy.
She was very happy. She celebrated that, like, yes. Yeah, so she gonna get her dude now. She gonna finally get the
that old skinny penis to Andre. Andre's old skinny penis.
Yep. And so they overhear Autumn and Andre having a conversation about the club, and we learn that Promised Land had already approached her and offered her $1 million.
That was a surprise. That was a surprise to me.
Has not offered her $1 million. And she's like, because everybody's offering me $1 million, I know I can get more for it. But we learned that it's always been her goal to get the most that she could get for the club, and she planned on selling.
So why do you two think he was so upset? Because he seemed like last episode, he seemed like he was Gucci if he got his share of what was sold. If she sold it for 10 and he got, his percentage, he seemed like he would be okay with it. What am I gonna do with my girl?
Not only that, I don't understand. My answer
now
to that
he's
is
upset,
I don't know.
But why?
And not only that, I don't understand why he's so upset. Because what did you think? Like, she doesn't owe you. She doesn't owe the Pynk. She doesn't owe Chucalissa. She doesn't have what y'all have.
But you already talked about if she could sell it for more.
I don't understand why they got so angry. And again, I could even see if she had been pretending. She no way, shape, or form ever pretended that this was more than a business deal for her. She's considering selling because I had a whole conversation about it. So I didn't understand the anger. I didn't
either. I'm confused. Retro, okay. What you think?
Okay. This is what the anger is. Uncle Clifford lives by his own Bible of rules. He has rules. And everyone that is in his world abides by those rules.
Right.
For them, Mercedes and Clifford is loyalty. Let's go back to how they put Keyshawn up out of the club because she pulled a gun on family. For them, it's loyalty. And the fact that he gave her refuge, Uncle Clifford knew that she was not legit when she first showed up there. But they gave her refuge. They gave her a place to hide out from whatever she was running from. They took the burden of what she was running from by killing this dude, cutting his body up, and hiding it all on behalf of her. So in their mind, they feel like she should be loyal to them, and this club means everything to them. Not only does it mean everything to them, it's the only thing that they feel like that they have that they can do to better themselves. They feel like they don't fit into society. They feel like they can't go get regular jobs. They feel like they can't do anything but run this little piece of Chucalissa is theirs, in a place where there can be accepted, loved by one another, and she's at risk of taking that away from them. Whereas they think that she's supposed to be part of this family, and she's not. For her, it's about the money. For them, it's about the loyalty. I do kind of agree with what y'all are saying. I don't really understand why Uncle Clifford is so upset, other than what probably made him upset is knowing that she had been already getting offers that she hadn't told him about.
I think that might be more what it was.
That's what I felt. That's what I felt like ultimately he was upset about.
Because I agree that he does have his own set of rules, but again, she never gave y'all the impression, not y'all, but I mean, them, the impression she was never playing by their rules, ever. And even when we thought she was just a regular old dancer, she was never playing by the rules.
Yeah, and they discussed it. I mean, it was a I don't know. I can see why people just don't like Autumn. I really wasn't feeling that way. I feel like Autumn, and I think Xavier and I kind of agreed on this during one of these lives where we agreed that it might not be Xavier, it might be somebody else. Well, Autumn kind of always comes in the pinch, right? And so I'm still hoping that that's the case, but we always see first half of the season now
she's run away, and her actions change at the last minute.
It's like her heartstrings get pulled, and
because we saw that she was going to leave Mercedes, just like Montavious told her. Montavious said she's not going to come back for you. Yeah, and we saw.
I mean, and she stabbed Andre in the back hard when she got the Pynk from up underneath him. The way she did, but she still comes back and she kisses the boo boo.
She tries to right her wrongs.
Yeah, she'll give you a little cut, but she comes back and she kisses the boo boo. She tries to right her wrong, and here's an opportunity for her and Clifford to combine their two, what they're both really good at individually, and bring it together, and the twin powers unite.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to Haley. Haley is not in a place where she's ready to plant roots.
Ooh.
She said it over and over again. She's running. And
I think she's gonna always be that way till we get to the daughter situation. Exactly. Until we find out what went on with the daughter.
Or if the daughter is still alive, which could be a possibility.
And I feel like she still has those hopes, which is maybe why she doesn't really set up roots.
But we also learned that she's been an orphan all her life. Because she said I think she said it to Andre, was it last week or week before last, that the first lady that took me in, she said the first lady that took me in told me never hang my clothes. Ooh. Always keep them in the bag and be ready to go. She said, I stay ready. So I think Andre is what's going to cause her. They're setting the tone up for it already. Andre, who's supposed to be the executor of which I felt like that was a lie. Because if he was the executor of the estate, he would have known that the house was willed to him.
Can you please say it again?
He would have been at the reading of the will.
Exactly. He would have been at the reading of the will.
Can you please say it again? How you don't know and you the executor unless that was just a lie you was telling your wife?
That was a lie he told his wife, y'all.
To stay in town. That was a lie. That was a lie he was telling his wife to stay in town. But now
that's why I don't understand why you were surprised that she was slobbing somebody else's knob. Like what?
It's the male ego. It's the male ego.
I get it. No, I get that, but I'm just saying,
you his wife, girl. You his wife.
No, she's not my wife.
I'm just saying, but you putting it together. You saying territory. It's about possession.
You're my wife. You know, I
do
don't
it
want
again. You say you my wife. Do it again, Retro. You my wife.
You're my wife.
Both hands. It's my wife. You better get in there and get her.
If you're my wife, that means you are loyal to me and only me.
Yeah.
Now, what the shit I do is that's
irrelevant. We ain't talking about what I do. We talking about what you do.
You do.
Right. Don't be bringing up old shit.
Don't be bringing up old shit, right? Because really, she didn't know any of the events that occurred in Chucalissa. She may have had suspicion. She may have felt unloved from her husband, or whatever the case may be. But in the reality of this moment, you're cheating with a person I know who happens to be your co-worker in our house, in our bed. There's a problem.
Well, if that's the case, then Autumn is never going to be good enough either.
No, I think
because Autumn got her own mind, and she ain't finna go for no. You is my property.
Andre's going to change.
You know what I'm saying? And you gonna do what I tell you to do.
They have changed. They have changed each other already.
But who Autumn really is? I don't think he really sees Autumn. I don't think he really has seen Autumn in all of her glory. What makes people can't stand her?
It's lust. It's just like Mercedes told her. Montavious told me that you are easy to love, but easier to hate.
Yep.
Ooh.
So, in other words, Andre could possibly change her, where she finally decides to hang her clothes up in the closet. He's been left that house.
Nah.
He's been put out of his marriage, or he's going to get put out of his marriage.
Can't pull Autumn like that.
Watch.
I don't believe it. I don't believe he can pull Autumn like that. I don't believe he can settle Autumn down like that.
They're gonna take up life together.
Yeah. For as wounded as Teak is, Autumn is equally as wounded. Autumn basically has been groomed in this grifter con man lifestyle. She been keeping the books for the cartel, for the group, you know, that whatever that association is.
She's a grifter.
So you know.
But what's going to happen? This is what's going to force her to take up life with Andre, and approach a new scheme. They're not going to get this casino.
Autumn is essentially stronger than Andre. You do realize that?
Oh yeah, she's smarter. She's
clever.
but she's going to manipulate the fact that he's a lawyer, and she can use him in situations to further her narrative. So she's going to string him along. She's going to take up housekeeping with him, because ultimately she will find some way to benefit from having him on her team.
She's going to whip him. She's going to have him whipped.
Especially if he becomes mayor, then that puts her in a powerful position to be first lady.
To use him even further.
Exactly.
To use him even further. By the time he wake up and realize just how used he's been,
he's used up, and she's gone. She's gonna do him just like she did Montavious.
Yeah, but Autumn could be the reason why he does team up with Woodbine. Autumn could be the reason why, because she has the potential to really turn Andre straight evil. Remember the words of Montavious. Easy to love, easier to hate.
Easier to hate.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because the scenarios, all of the scenarios across the board, whether it's who's going to be fodder or get their lights cut off, or who's going to be mayor, the scenarios are varied, and to me that makes it more textured and more interesting. Any of these things can jump off, and also I can go ahead and see into season 3 that it's going to be even juicier than season 2.
Well, it goes back to, there are elements in the story that are predictable, but the overall writing, it can go different directions
and make sense.
It's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cul-de-sac. Come on now.
So, you can go in multiple different directions where the writing is concerned, even though there are elements that are predictable. If I go this way, I know where I'm going to end up. If I go this way, I don't quite know where I'm going to end up, or I can just turn around.
Right.
So I think that's what we're seeing with the writing. I know a lot of people are saying that this is Nikki Gilbert's show, and this was her original idea.
I don't know that Nikki could have did this like this.
That's. I wish Crystal was on here, because we talked about that a couple of episodes ago, that we felt like because Nikki Gilbert was suing the network for the rights of the show, because she says it's based off of her original idea. Maybe there are some elements that were taken away from her original story, but I don't feel that way now after watching this episode and the depth and how powerful it is written. I think that we're going to see more of this as the season unfolds.
Yeah. I don't think Nikki could have wrote this. What you think, Crystal? I mean, really? Oh.
Crystal.
I don't know. She must have us on mute.
What happened?
We were just talking about it being whatchamacallit show. Tell her Nikki Gilbert show. And I said I don't think Nikki could have wrote this.
I don't know. Like, it definitely is not going in the direction that I think she would have taken it.
That's what
listen, let me say this. I still haven't seen her play, so I honestly can't make a comparison and say, oh no, they stole it. But I will say, I don't think if she were the writer, I definitely don't see it going this deep. I feel like this is some deep stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is some real deep connection.
But only with that, it deals with what's happening in real life. And this is why I feel like it's not based off of her story, because her story wouldn't have included a pandemic. Her story wouldn't have included Black Lives Matter. Now, you can say that those are elements that are happening in real time that were pulled in to add to the story. But when you talk about characters like Zeke and Little Murder and Uncle Clifford and the whole sexuality, even with Mercedes, because we're going to have to also see what Mercedes dealing with. I mean,
being in a relationship with a man and a woman.
Being in a relationship with a man and a woman. Maybe she's comfortable with it. But up until this point, we haven't seen her express interest in wanting to be with a woman.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't think that, I definitely don't think that's her comfort zone. But again, I think it goes into that, am I doing this because there are really feelings involved, or am I doing this because I'm making money?
I'm making money, right. But I think
am I really feeling, you know what I'm saying?
I think feelings are going to develop and I think they're going to develop for Farrah.
I've done more for less. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Oh my God, you've done more for less. I know.
Yeah, you have too when you think about it. When the last time you did something sexually that garnered you $10,000 a week? I'll wait.
Not a damn thing.
All right, we've all done more for
you know,
less.
Resto Gigolo, he probably has. That probably
But did they earn him $10,000?
Right. You see all them. Listen, you see all them sneakers in the back. How you think he getting all them sneakers?
He worked for them sneakers
every day.
You working all right. You working that pole. For them sneakers. He working that pole, Miss Honey.
Where my brothers at? My brothers are not here today to defend me. I'm just outnumbered.
Your brothers ain't up here.
I don't hear you disagreeing though. I'm waiting for the disagreement.
Right, I didn't hear him disagree about nothing.
That's in her mind. You know,
I'm just saying we have all done more for less, right?
I will give you that. I've never,
I mean, if I got $10,000, okay, listen, I wouldn't be working now. No, if I can get $10,000,
listen.
Do you know that's $480,000 a year?
I love the Lord.
I'd be a liar. I would be a liar.
$80,000 a year to spread your legs.
How much a Tesla cost? How much do a Tesla cost?
It depends on what you get.
I'm getting fully equipped. I wanted to drive the car, wash the car. I want the car to do all of that for itself.
You talking about that Y model then? You probably talking about that Y model. That's probably gonna run you about $100,000.
I gotta get ready to go, y'all.
That's $100,000. That's 10 weeks. I'll do 10 weeks of this work to get my car.
Ooh. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this week's episode.
Since Crystal lotioning down, that's how you know your mama getting ready to go somewhere when you start smelling her cologne.
No, I gotta do my live at 2 o'clock. I got my own live at 2. But as soon as my live is over, I'm walking out the door. So you know.
All right, y'all. So we'll see y'all next week, y'all. Great episode. More to come.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.